You have to understand a little history to appreciate what's going on in French Lick in south central Indiana. Centuries ago, buffalo used to cross the Illinois prairie to get to the salt licks that formed around several springs in this little valley in the middle of what is today Hoosier National Forest. The humans that followed decided that these mineral-rich waters had medicinal value and would cure everything from arthritis to malaria to old age. In the 1850s, a couple of doctors bought land there and they created health resorts. People would come and there were doctors on staff, and you would tell the doctor what was your problem, and he would prescribe 2 cupfuls of water from this spring or 3 cupfuls from another spring. It was foul-smelling stuff, but the people drank it. Apparently it made them better. In 1974, the federal government tested those waters and found out that they contained trace elements, including lithium, which is used to treat depression. Maybe that's what made the people feel better. But anyway, the 2 original hotels burned around the turn of the 20th century, and a couple of entrepreneurs named Tom Taggart and Lee Sinclair bought the property and built magnificent hotels. One was the French Lick Springs Hotel, and a mile away was the West Baden Springs Hotel. West Baden was named for the Wiesbaden Springs in Germany. Of the 2, the West Baden was magnificent. It was called the 8th wonder of the world when it was completed in 1902. It's a circular building, and in the middle is a 6-story atrium. It stands 100 feet tall over a marble mosaic floor, and it's 200 feet in diameter. At the time, it was the world's largest free-span dome. These hotels flourished largely because a railroad spur brought the rich and famous from Chicago. They were the place to be up until about the 1930s, when the stock market crash and the Depression shut everything down. In 1934, the Jesuits bought the West Baden Hotel, and it was a seminary for 30 years. In 1991, the West Baden Hotel, which had been vacant for decades, began collapsing. And the Historic Landmarks Association of Indiana sought somebody to buy this historic property and do something with it. They found a savior in Bill Cook. He's a philanthropist who has saved other buildings in southern Indiana, and he provided $35 million to stabilize the West Baden Hotel with the idea that it then would be sold. Well, when they couldn't find a buyer, Cook agreed to buy the hotel himself in 2005. Now, down the road, a mile down the road, was the French Lick Springs Hotel, which was aging itself, and the owner of that didn't seem inclined to spend a lot of money restoring it, so Cook bought that hotel also. Donald Trump had planned to build a casino between the 2 historic hotels, and when that project fell through, Cook decided that he would go ahead and build the casino. Today, both French Lick Springs Hotel and West Baden Springs Hotel have been meticulously restored, and there's a casino in between them. Cook estimates he spent about $470 million on the project, but it's a beautiful place, a great place for a weekend getaway. While I was there, a classic car club showed up and started unloading passengers in front of the 2 hotels in these gleaming Packards and vintage Cadillacs. And it was easy to go back to the turn of the century, the days of the grand hotels, and imagine Al Capone and John Dillinger and Cole Porter and the Marx Brothers, who all had stayed at those hotels. Of course, I arrived in a rental car.